A man walks into a grocery store with a full wallet of cash and still can't buy food. The cashier refuses him silently, like it's normal. Behind him, someone places a tiny piece of gold on the counter and leaves with everything he needs. No explanation, no argument, just a quiet shift in reality. And the question is, when did money stop working? To understand that, you have to go back to a time when everything still felt normal. Before the pressure, before the doubt, back when money still felt like control. Zero wakes up to the soft buzz of his phone. Salary credited. He sits up, checks the number again, and for a second, everything feels okay. This is what stability looks like: a job, a paycheck, a plan. He brushes his teeth while mentally dividing that money into categories: rent, groceries, bills, savings, maybe a little left for himself. Not much, but enough to feel in control. On his way to work, the city moves like it always has. Traffic flows, shops open, people rush with purpose. Nothing looks broken, nothing feels like collapse. At lunch, he pays with cash. No hesitation, no problem. Money works exactly the way it's supposed to. At the grocery store later that evening, he notices something small. The total is slightly higher than last week. Not shocking, just noticeable. He pauses for a second, then pays anyway. It's fine. Prices go up sometimes. That's normal. At home, he scrolls through the news. Inflation slowing down, economy stabilizing, experts speak with confidence. Everything suggests the same message: you're safe. So he believes it. He keeps saving money, avoids unnecessary risks, plays it smart, plays it safe. Somewhere in his drawer, there's a small piece of gold. Old, slightly worn, something he never really took seriously. Not useful, not urgent, just there. Because in a world where money works, why would you ever need anything else? And that's the illusion. At first, nothing breaks. That's what makes it dangerous. There's no crash, no warning sirens, just pressure. Slow, quiet, almost invisible pressure. Zero notices it the next time he goes shopping. Same store, same items, different total, higher. He stares at the receipt a little longer this time. Not confused, just uncomfortable. Something feels off. A week later, it happens again. Fuel costs more. Electricity bill jumps. Groceries take a bigger bite out of his wallet. Individually, each increase feels manageable. Together, they begin to squeeze. So he adjusts. He skips a few things at the store, chooses cheaper brands, delays replacing things he actually needs. Tells himself it's temporary, that things will settle, but they don't. Because this isn't a spike, it's a shift. And the shift isn't in prices, it's in the value of his money. The number in his bank account hasn't gone down. If anything, it's slightly higher. But what that number can actually do is shrinking. Quietly, relentlessly. This is the part no one explains clearly. Inflation isn't just things getting expensive. It's your money becoming weaker. Every day, it sits still. It loses a little more of its power. And while Zero is cutting back, the system around him is doing the opposite. More money is being created. More credit is being issued. More spending is being pushed. Banks lend, governments inject, corporations adjust prices faster than wages can keep up. Nothing looks broken, but everything is stretching, and the middle is where it tightens. Zero feels it in small decisions. Do I refill the tank now or later? Do I pay this bill or delay it? Do I keep saving or start using what I've saved? The pressure doesn't explode, it builds, and that's what makes it effective. Because by the time you react, you've already lost ground. At some point, the thought crosses his mind. Gold, that small piece sitting in his drawer. He takes it out one night, holds it in his hand, turns it under the light. It looks valuable, but it doesn't feel useful. You can't buy groceries with it. You can't pay bills with it. You can't use it when you need things right now. So he puts it back, closes the drawer, and chooses what feels practical. Cash. Because in this phase of the story, cash still works, and gold still feels like a mistake. And this is where most people get it wrong. Because the system doesn't break when things feel hard, it breaks right after that. Zero wakes up, checks his phone, and for the first time, there's no relief, no new salary, just a notification he wasn't expecting, a deduction, an expense, something unplanned. He sits there for a moment, staring at the screen. Then he opens his banking app again, refreshes it. Same number, but this time, it feels smaller. That same day, another message arrives. Rent increase. And suddenly, the math stops working. Income on one side, expenses on the other. For the first time, they don't balance. So he does what most people do. He reacts. He goes to the ATM, withdraws cash, holds it in his hand like control. But when he starts spending it, it disappears faster than expected. Groceries, fuel, a bill he couldn't delay anymore. Within days, it's gone. So he looks around for options, things he can sell, a spare phone, old electronics, items that once felt valuable. He lists them online, waits, refreshes the page, nothing. Views, but no buyers. Because in a system under pressure, liquidity disappears first. People stop buying. They hold on. Everyone is trying to survive at the same time, so the things you thought had value become difficult to convert. And that's when the stress turns into something heavier. Not panic, not yet. Just a quiet realization. I might not have enough. At the grocery store, the atmosphere feels different now. People hesitate longer, compare prices more carefully, put items back. Zero stands there again, cash in hand. This time, it works, but barely. He walks out with less than he planned, more than he can afford, and then it hits him. Not all at once, but clearly enough. Cash is still working, but it's losing. Slowly, every day. That night, he opens the drawer again. The same small piece of gold, unchanged, silent. He holds it longer this time, not with confidence, but with doubt. Because now the question isn't, is this useful? The next day, he takes it with him. Not because he believes in it, but because he's running out of things to believe in. He walks into a small local shop where people go when they need options. He hesitates, then places it on the counter. For a moment, nothing happens. No instant transaction, no smooth process, just silence. And then the shopkeeper looks at it carefully, weighs it, thinks, and finally speaks. An offer. Not perfect, not ideal, but real. For the first time in weeks, something he owns turns into actual value. He takes the money, walks out, and uses it. Food, essentials, time, breathing space, and that's when it becomes clear. Gold didn't help him when life was stable. It didn't help him when things started getting expensive. It didn't help him when cash was still enough. This isn't the first time this has happened. It only feels new because most people have never lived through it before. But the pattern is old. In every system that begins to strain, the same sequence unfolds. At first, nothing feels broken. People keep working, spending, saving. Money still moves. Then slowly, it starts losing meaning. Not all at once, just enough that people begin to feel it, but not understand it. Prices rise, wages lag behind, savings look stable, but behave differently. And by the time the shift becomes obvious, it's already too late to react comfortably. Because collapse doesn't begin when things fall apart. It begins when trust starts to fade. Trust in money, trust in stability, trust that tomorrow will behave like today. History has shown this again and again. Different countries, different decades, same story. Cash stops being reliable. Banks tighten access. People rush for liquidity at the exact moment liquidity disappears. And in that moment, assets reveal their true nature. Some fail instantly. Things that depend on buyers stop moving. Things that depend on confidence collapse. But a few things survive. Not because they are perfect, but because they don't rely on the system that is failing. Gold is one of them. But not in the way people imagine. It doesn't grow your wealth. It doesn't generate income. It doesn't make life easier during normal times. In fact, it often feels like a bad decision. Dead money, locked value, something you question holding, until the moment everything else begins to fail. Because gold doesn't perform during stability, it performs during distrust. It becomes valuable when belief in everything else disappears. And that's the part most people misunderstand. They expect it to work all the time. But it was never designed for that. It was designed for the moment when systems stop working the way they should. For the gap between collapse and recovery. A bridge, not a solution. And the uncomfortable truth is this. By the time you need that bridge, you may not have access to it. Because preparing for collapse feels unnecessary until it becomes unavoidable. Zero sits quietly. The noise of the world still continues around him. Cars pass, people walk, shops open, everything looks normal. But now he sees it differently. The same system, the same money, the same routine, but without the illusion. He understands something most people don't realize in time. The danger was never choosing the wrong asset. It was believing the system would always give you time to choose. And it doesn't. Because when the moment comes, you don't rise to the level of your plan. You fall to the level of your preparation. And in a world where money slowly loses meaning, the question is no longer how much do you have? It becomes, what will still work when nothing else does?